Hello everyone and welcome back to another Movie Nights movie review. My name is Dalton and today we're going to be talking about Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn. This film was directed by Cathy Yan and is part of the DC Extended Universe, and it sees Margot Robbie reprising her role as Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad, and you get to see new players too: Huntress, Black Canary, Cassandra Cain, and Renee Montoya. So I'm a little conflicted about this film. There's a lot of it that I really enjoyed, and some of it that I didn't really like. But for the most part, one thing I can say, this film is fun. This film is fun as hell. I'm really happy that they went with an R rating on this one. It structurally kind of felt like what a Suicide Squad movie should have been. The movie uses great use of its color palette. It's very stylistic, but sometimes the style can go over the substance, which is not something that you want, but for the most part, it's okay. But there are times where stylistically it just went through the roof and the substance just wasn't there to back up the style. Let's talk about the good things. Good things, all the performances were fantastic. I think each actress and actor in this film really nailed the character that they were portraying. Ewan McGregor also plays Black Mask, and while I didn't fully appreciate the writing of the character of Black Mask, I thought that Ewan McGregor's performance was excellent, and he just chewed the scene and everything that he was in, and it was awesome. One thing that I think this movie nails is just the inner conflict of the character of Harley Quinn. You know, she has a lot of sort of inner monologues as she kind of has to find out what her purpose is without the Joker, because from the trailers, the movie let you know she has broken up with the Joker. And I like that there were repercussions to her being the Joker's girlfriend and then suddenly not being the Joker's girlfriend. Like, suddenly all these gangsters are like, hey, we don't have to treat her nicely anymore. She's been running around doing whatever she wants. She's not with Joker anymore, let's just take her out. That sort of consequence is really cool to see, and to see how she deals with that and learns to, you know, sort of create her own reputation. I thought the film did a very good job of doing that. The film also did a very good job of making Harley Quinn like the perspective and the narrator of this story. Like, you are watching the movie as if you are Harley Quinn telling the story. So it jumps all over the place, and it has a bunch of confetti and music and a really funny animated opening, but you buy most of that because the way it sets the tone right away with what kind of film it's going to be. And I think it did a good job in that regard. Another good thing about this film is the action scenes. The action sequences are out-fucking-standing. This movie did utilize the same stunt coordinators and stunt team that the John Wick films use, and it shows, because the action, holy shit, it's good. Where the movie sort of teeters for me is that sometimes a bunch of good things can't equal the sum of its parts, and that there are a lot of cool, interesting things that happen in the movie, but they don't always come together well. Like, individually, I can take apart this movie and say, I liked this thing about it, I like this thing about it, I liked this thing about it, but they didn't really put them together quite nicely. The script is also a bit inconsistent. The film will literally tell the audience one thing, and then the other characters in the movie also think the same thing, but it's not obvious unless you're told. I'm being as vague as possible here because I don't want to spoil anything. But while some of the script was really tight and solid, some of it was really lackadaisical and lazy, and just that inconsistency was a bit aggravating. Going back to two major positives, Cathy Yan, I think, directed the hell out of this movie. I think it is very well put together, even though it is kind of schlocky in some places. And one thing that this movie did that I absolutely loved is that it didn't feel pressured to put the Birds of Prey together early in the film. They didn't really fight together till closer towards the end of the movie. But that didn't bother me at all, because that's naturally where they were supposed to come together for the story they were telling. They didn't rush that. With Suicide Squad, for example, that kind of felt like that the characters were put together in the beginning because either Warner Brothers told David Ayer to do so, or just that's how David Ayer wanted it to happen. But then there was this sort of awkwardness after they were together, because it was kind of like, well, what now? Where in this film, when they come together, it made sense for the story, and the third act of this movie is very awesome. It is just bonkers. Ultimately, I would say this film is a really fun, awesome time with great action sequences, great performances, pretty solid direction, but sometimes the style doesn't quite match the substance, and it can feel a little inconsistent and schlocky in some places. I'm gonna give Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn a B. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon.